Voiceovers Made Simple, a beginner's complete guide. Welcome back, VoiceOver friends, and I'm glad you're here because today I'm going to talk about how to get into VoiceOver, and I'm talking about keeping it super, super basic. Have you ever thought about getting into VoiceOver and just didn't have any idea about where to start? Well, that's exactly what this video is about, because I'm going to break it down so simple that anyone can learn how to do this, so stick around. That's right, no fancy jargon, no super overcomplicated strategy, no $10,000 studio. We're going to cover the very, very basics that even a hobbyist can use to get into VoiceOver. So by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what you need to do to take that very important first step into the world of VoiceOver without being overwhelmed. Okay, before we dive in, let's talk about some myths about VoiceOver. Okay, myth number one is you need to have a good voice or an announcer voice, and that is no longer the case. I don't care if you sound like Morgan Freeman or Gilbert Gottfried or anywhere in between, you can do VoiceOver. You just have to be real and authentic. Myth number two is that you need a big fancy recording studio. Again, not the case. All you need is some basic equipment, no $5,000 microphones, just a good quiet spot in your house to get started. All right, myth number three is that you have to have a big-time acting background to do VoiceOver. Again, not the case. It helps if you've got an acting background, whether it's, local theater or whatever, but the only acting background that I had before starting VoiceOver was elementary school plays. And being the March Hare in Alice in Wonderland didn't really prep me for being a VoiceOver, but I'm doing it now, and you can too. So you don't need to wait until you're a perfect performer. The best way to learn is to do. So if any of those myths have been stopping you from moving forward in your VoiceOver journey, kick them to the curb and get started. So what is the very simplest way to get into voice acting? Well, it really comes down to 4 steps. Step 1 is set up a very basic recording space in your home. Step 2 is learn how to record and edit your voice. Step 3 is create a very simple starter demo. And step 4 is to start auditioning small and get some real-world practice. That's it. Just those 4 steps. Now we're going to break them down one by one, but that's really all you need to do to get started. Step 1, set up a basic recording space. Now you'll notice that I didn't say something like build a professional studio, just something very basic to go ahead and start working on recording. Okay, here's what that means. The first step is going to be to get a microphone, and you can there's a lot of different microphones out there. You can start with a USB microphone, which plugs directly into your computer, or you can go up a little bit and get an XLR microphone that has to have an interface to connect to your computer. So either way, you can start recording immediately when you get these. If budget is a concern, start with a USB microphone. It plugs right in your computer, plug and play, no problem. Okay, next up is a quiet environment. Now, I'm not saying that you need to soundproof a room in your house or build a fancy studio. Just find a quiet room or maybe even a closet with some clothes in it, or even grab a blanket and throw it over your head. Whatever you got, just start recording. Now, for playback and listening, you may want to get a set of headphones. Now, these aren't required, but they can help, especially if you don't want to disturb others with what you've played back. You can actually use earbuds if you'd like, but if you want to get an actual studio set of headphones, make sure you don't get something like Beats or anything with bass heavy, and definitely not any sort of noise canceling headphones. Like I said, earbuds are fine if you're going to use headphones. All right, and last but not least is software. Now, there's a great free software out there called Audacity. It's free to download, works on PC or Mac, and it's very basic, but it gets the job done. In fact, I know plenty of full-time voice actors who still use Audacity just because that's what they're comfortable with. Okay, so to recap, basic microphone, quiet space, headphones optional, free software. You'll probably get into this for maybe $150, $200 all in. Step number 2 is learn how to record and edit your own voice. All right, so you've got your setup, your equipment, and your quiet space. Now it's time to get busy. So start recording and learning how to use Audacity to record and edit your voice. Now, at this point, don't get scared because all you need to learn is how to hit record, how to take out your mistakes, how to remove any sort of background noise, and how to normalize the volume of your recording. And normalize is just a fancy word for volume. So here's a pro tip. Don't over-edit. A lot of people think that when they first start working in VoiceOver, they need to add a lot of effects to their voice, some compression and EQ and noise gates and stuff like that. Don't fall into that trap yet. Right now, all you should be concerned with is playing your own voice back, getting used to hearing it, and cleaning it up. So keep it simple. Record, cut out the mistakes, clean up the noise, save as an MP3 or a WAV.
And now for something completely different.
Hey guys, just a quick break here to let you know that the application window for the VoiceOver Blueprint training program is now open. The VoiceOver Blueprint isn't just a bunch of prepackaged videos. It's the most comprehensive VoiceOver training program in the known galaxy. When you join, you'll get live instructional webinars every day covering marketing, tech, performance, casting sites, and more. Plus access to a private Facebook group where you can ask questions, get feedback, watch me work in live voiceover sessions, contests, and tons more. You'll also unlock a full library of on-demand video training modules, special discounts on demos and partner programs, and exclusive one-on-one coaching with VO experts. New members get a 30-minute onboarding call with me just to make sure you're off on the right foot. Plus, dedicated US-based member support every step of the way. Book your call now to learn more in the description and the pinned comment below.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Step number 3, create a very simple starter demo. Now that you've gotten your practice doing recording, now it's time to put those skills to the test and put together a very basic demo. And let me be super clear, this is not a demo that you're going to shop around to direct marketing clients. This demo is just to work the muscles of recording and editing and putting together something that you can let people hear just to see that you're on the right path. This is definitely not your forever demo. In fact, your eventual goal should be to get a professional demo because that demo is the one you're going to shop around. This first beginner demo is just to get the basics down. So the way this works is you're going to hop over to YouTube and you're going to look for commercials that actually speak to you, products and services that you actually use. If you like to wear Nikes, then look at some Nike commercials. If you like to eat Kraft macaroni and cheese, look for some commercials for that. But put together 5 to 6 spots on the single demo of varying styles. And those styles would be something like high energy, conversational, warm and caring, maybe gritty if you're a male or sultry if you're a female, and string those together back to back on a single demo. The target length for this demo should be about 1 minute to 1:15, and you want to put the spots together so that similar spots are not next to each other. You want to take the listener for a ride. Make them keep guessing what's coming up next. Now, if you're feeling confident by now and you want to add some music and sound effects to really make it sound like the real deal, go ahead and try that. But don't feel like you have to. Remember, right now, it's just about putting the samples down on the file. Step number 4, start auditioning and practicing. Now, this is worth its weight in gold, the practicing especially. Here's the mistake most beginners make. They spend too much time researching and tinkering with gear and getting ready to start before actually starting. And this is where a lot of people will actually just get frustrated and quit. The best way to start is to start. Get outside your comfort zone. Remember, that is where the growth happens. Yes, it's nice and cozy where you are now, but once you step out there, the more you do, the easier it gets and the more confident you're going to get. So where do you go and start doing auditions? Well, the first place most people go are sites like Fiverr or Upwork. Now, a lot of professional voice actors look down on Fiverr, and yes, there is some pretty crappy jobs on there, but it's also a great place to get used to recording and editing and working with clients and scripts, and it's like the minor leagues. So this is where that beginner demo can come in handy. Next up are casting sites like voices.com and Voice123. Now this is a little bit more competitive and sometimes a lot more competitive, but this is also a place where you can hop on there and you can do some auditions for people just to, once again, work the muscle and get used to doing that. Don't forget local opportunities in your network, whether it's people that you're connected to on Facebook or people, friends and family locally that you might be able to work for. Just put some feelers out and there may be some people who need some work done. The key is just to get started. I don't care if you don't book any work. the actual act of doing those auditions is practice in itself. The more you do that, the more improvement you're going to see and the more confident you're going to be when the time comes to take that next step. Now, here's where I want to pause for a second, because this is where a lot of beginners get stuck. And the reason why is they think that their voice isn't good enough or their skills aren't good enough, because they hear other people out there who are doing this and they feel like, oh, I'll never be as good as them. And that's okay. We were all in that spot at the beginning. The key is to just work the muscle, keep practicing, and you will get better and more confident. Think of it like learning guitar. You're not going to sound like Ed Van Halen right out of the gate. You're going to pick it up, you're going to suck, and it's going to be okay, but you're going to get better gradually. This is no different. Okay, now let's talk about some FAQs that a lot of people ask when they're first getting started. Question number 1 is, do I need acting training? And we covered that a little earlier. No, you don't. I mean, it's fine later on if you want to take some improv classes or acting classes. That will definitely help, but you do not need it to get started. Question number 2, do I need a bunch of expensive equipment? Once again, we already talked about that. You do not. Basic equipment is just fine. Free software like Audacity and even GarageBand will help you get started and, more importantly, learn to hear your own voice. Question number 3 is, how do I know if my voice is good enough? Well, if you can talk and you can communicate to a listener, you're good enough. Remember, it's not about having some golden voice. If you can deliver lines naturally and sound like a regular person, that's all it takes. The last question is, can I actually make money doing this? And the answer is absolutely. I mean, you're not going to quit your day job in the first month, but the more you work at it, the better and more confident you're going to get. And yes, people who work in full-time voice acting can do very, very well. VoiceOver is a business and it does take time to grow, but if you keep at it, it will grow. Okay, time for a recap. Here's the 4 steps we talked about. Number 1, setting up a basic recording space. Number 2, learn to record and edit. Number 3, make a basic demo. And number 4, start auditioning. That's it. No 10 microphones, no waiting till you're ready to get started. Just those 4 steps. If you follow those steps, you'll go from thinking about VoiceOver to actually doing it. And trust me, that very first audition, whether you book it or not, is going to feel fantastic. So here's my challenge for you. If you've been dreaming of this, what are you waiting for? I want you to take action today. So find a quiet spot in your house, download Audacity, record a short script, and take that first step. Because here's the truth. The only thing standing between you and actually doing VoiceOver is starting. And by the way, if you want to learn why right now is the best time to get started in VoiceOver, then check out this video right here.